Welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another show for you guys. Today's show, we're going to go and start with the obvious, which is the manager update, guys. We're going to be going through all the manager updates through Twitter from what we've been told and what we've heard up to this point now. We are going to bring you some updated news on that. We're going to start off with a little video actually for you to watch in regards to the Chelsea Fan TV main man, Alex, who was on talksport yesterday. We're going to be showing that to start with. We've got the midfield end of season review to do as well, which we're going to be getting into as well, guys. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Subscribe if you're new here as well. Lots and lots and lots and lots to get into. It's cue the intro. People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another show for you guys. As always, I hope you're all well. Welcome in. Lots to discuss. Lots going on in front of the Chelsea reams as well. Lots of information as well. Lots of information for us to go through. I am literally on heat this week. I've been on heat this week. I've been on literally all week as well for you guys. I've been in here all week for you guys as well. Make sure you smash your likes as always, guys. I hope you're well. Just say hello to some people in the chat. Michael, what you saying? Good to see you. Cuzzy, what you saying? How are you? Good to see you as well. I think there's an issue with YouTube at the moment, guys. Okay, I was on what's it called? The Football Terrace earlier on, and the YouTube view numbers are, even though it's showing that you're not in it, it's showing us that you're not in it, are in here. So even though it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. So even though it's only showing me that we've got 2 people watching and none in GNA TV, that I know that ain't right. So there's probably more of you watching in the wings in the back as well, guys. YouTube still not sorted themselves out. It happens. But big up everyone that's in here at the moment. Let's quickly throw through it. Cuzzy, how are you? Brian, Grey Woolstinner, how are you as well? Good to see you. Zach, how are you? Good to see you. Lieutenant Tony, Steve, here's what I'm saying. You're all in here. It's just not showing it on the It's just not showing it on it. It's showing 3 people on Chelsea Fan TV. You got to laugh. There's probably about 60, 70 people in here right now. YouTube, sort it out, man. Sort it out. Sort it out. We've got lots to get into anyway. Let's start with this, guys. Let's start with this. Where is it? This right here. Man like Alex. Chelsea Fan TV owner was on talksport. We're going to share his views and opinions on here to start with. Let's get into it.
And he still had the support of the dressing room. Ray, I don't know about you, but I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm
nothing surprises me in football now. But at the same time,
I thought all the paper talk would have been about the England squad today, but now obviously Pochettino dominating as well the back pages, because I thought it was a bit of a shock myself, but towards the end of his reign at Chelsea, I think he was doing a really good job. So get him where he got him in the end. Look, there's been bumps along the road, but he hasn't got a magic wand, does he? You can't just go into a club and suddenly wave this magic wand. It's all going to change. We're going to get him second, good, third, and it's just trying to build on what he's trying to.
Oh, goodness sake! 2 seconds, guys. I can't even. 2 seconds. Let me get this out of the way.
I mean, there's not been a project at Chelsea Football Club, has there?
No.
And you haven't even won anything. No. I mean, you could accept it with, Roman Abramovich's era, because he was winning trophies every season. Manager weren't good enough. Boom, see you later. Tuchel win Champions League. What's this about? What's going on?
It feels very similar, actually, to the ruthlessness of what's happened and the decision making. It is Romanesque, the way they've gone about it. If you don't fit, out you go.
There you go. And Josie gets a mention, doesn't he?
He's a mention for everybody.
For more on this is Chelsea Fan TV presenter Alex Harris. Alex, a very, very good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Alex, how surprised? Ray and I are surprised. I thought, here we go. He's now beginning to get reaction. There looks to be a bit of togetherness now at Chelsea. Won the last 5. Good pre-season. Chelsea could be a force next year. You start all over again.
I can't believe this decision. I'm with pretty much the majority here. This to me is disgusting. I think it's criminal what the owners are doing right now. And everyone's talking about Todd Bowley. Everyone's talking about this guy. I don't think it's Bowley. It's Barley. It's Feliciano. It's Clearlake. Pochettino, for me, has done a remarkable job this season. If you look at the bigger picture, if you've watched Chelsea week in, week out, you will have an idea that we have had one of the worst injury crises in the whole league. Everything has gone wrong at certain times, and it's only just started to click. And the fact that this manager, out of all the managers, and I include managers like Thomas Tuchel, I include Jose Mourinho, he's the only one, after going through such a season of turbulence, he's got the full backing of the dressing room. The whole club is behind him. And still, these bums decide to get rid of him. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm disgusted. For me, Chelsea, we're finished. We're finished. No top manager is going to want to come to Chelsea. And I don't hold back when I say that. Who is going to come in and believe that these owners are actually going to trust what they want to do when they manage this team? Pochettino, Potter was promised time. All right, you don't get it right every single time. Then you bring in Frank Lampard. That's 2 mistakes. Mauricio Pochettino was the 3rd choice. He was supposed to be the man to lead us forward. And they bowled it again. So ultimately, someone else has to get sacked, whether it's Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, whoever it is that made the decision to bring this guy in, and they've gone back on that judgment. Ultimately, it's an absolute disgrace, because now we've got a squad of players who are going to be unhappy. You've got Cole Palmer, who's playing some of his best football under Pochettino. The players are not going to be happy about this either. I'm certainly not.
Yeah. Looking at Alex now, look, it's happened now. So who would you want to come into the club now?
I mean, who is there? And this is the thing. You look at the names as well, right?
Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, but they're not. Tuchel. I wish Tuchel. I wish. Do you really think that Tuchel's going to come back and work with our owners? That you can't work with these owners. They give you no control. They give you nothing. I mean, for God's sake, I don't think Poch was asking for anything special. He was asking for the bare minimum. Please, can I keep 2 players in this squad? Please don't sell Gallagher. Don't sell Chalobah. I mean, it's not ridiculous. It's not a ridiculous expectation to have, is it? He's not saying go out and spend 200 million. He's saying, please, can I keep some of the experience that I've got in this team, and maybe even bring in a little bit more experience? You know, for once in my life, I don't want you to sign a 15-year-old from Brazil just because he's got Dino at the end of his name, whatever it is. It's nothing special. It's nothing special, and ultimately, it's not going to solve any of the short-term issues that we have.
Alex, is there a chance Jose could come back?
No. He's never going to come to Chelsea because he can see what the ownership are doing, and this team is not set up for short-term success. It was set up for long-term success under a stable manager. But the players needed stability first, and we've actually managed to get that. And that's why this decision is so bad, because honestly, we're being linked with Championship managers, Leicester's manager, Ipswich manager, Kieran McKenna. Like, look, I'm not saying they did a bad job. They did a very good job in their respective clubs, but they are not Chelsea quality. This is not the kind of rumours that I accept as a Chelsea fan. And I think if you are a Chelsea fan and you're out there, and you really believe that we are going in a step forward by getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino, you have no idea how bad this is for us, because we are deep, deep under.
Alex, thank you. There you go. I wonder what the players really think out as well, the players, because it looked like they was having to go for him towards the end, and they was certainly going into his plans and looking like they knew what they was doing, had a plan.
There was togetherness there, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So I don't think the players would be too happy with this.
Thanks to Alex Harris, Chelsea fan, TV presenter. Let me take a Chelsea call. Nathan's on the line. Morning, Nathan.
And there you go. That's Alex on Chelsea Fan TV side of the view, guys, for you guys to share. Do you agree? Do you disagree in the chat? I certainly agree with parts of what he's saying. Others with Poch, I'm not too sure on. I mean, I've always said that I've stipulated that I feel if they sacked him, I wouldn't be too annoyed about it. But he is right. Who are we going to bring in? Who are we going to replace him with? That's the big question, guys. YouTube is down at the moment currently. It's showing only 8 people in Chelsea Fan TV and 2 in GNA TV, which is impossible right now. But I mean, over on Twitter, there's 120 of you at the moment already in here. We should have about 200-300 people in here right now, guys. But yeah, hopefully YouTube will sort itself out. Do me a favor though, why the view count's not working, keep smashing the like buttons, guys. Keep running it up and just try and get these likes up to 100. I want these likes up to 100 likes. We've got a lot to get into for you guys as well. And we're going to start with some of the feeds. And we're going to start with this one from Piers and Chelsea HQ, who have come out saying Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart should have been given their marching orders today also. They're the ones that picked Pochettino from the original outset. And this is the comment here. Maurizio's experience stands for excellent leadership qualities and characters will serve Chelsea Football Club well as we move forward. He is a winning coach who has worked at the highest level in multiple leagues and languages. How do these guys get to choose our next manager? And that's a good question from players. Like, how these guys are the guys that have been picking the managers that come in. Obviously, the owners had to sign off on them. We know that. But, you know, these are the guys, again, this season or this moment in time who are going to pretty much break down this short list of candidates and put them forward to these owners. And that means we're relying on Winstanley and Stewart to get it right again. They got it wrong with Pochettino last season. The owners were not happy and decided to get rid of him now. Now, going into this period, they've got a lot of pressure to get it right again. They should by now understand and know what the requirement is as well, you know? Blind Dweller says, so where do I start? De Zerbi, yes or no? Good question. De Zerbi, yes or no? Is De Zerbi on the list? Well, we've still not had any confirmation as if De Zerbi is one of the candidates listed on our very long list. All we do know is that there was over 25 or 20 candidates listed. This has been shortened down from what I understand from today to a number of maybe 10, for example. And there's some that have been favoured more than others, which we're going to be discussing in a second as well. Big up and thank you for the donation as well, Blind Dweller. Let me fly through some of these comments because everyone's here right now. Also, funny how it took 3 months the last time, and now it can be done in days. And this is it. The thing is, this is the thing we need to be clear, guys. This is the one thing that we need to understand as fans. Even though we've got a candidate list and they're breaking them down and they're comparing them this, that, and the other, the one thing that is for sure that has been confirmed that I believe as well is that Egbali and Bowley have both got an agreement on one person that they actually want. Now, if that one person is actually in the list, I don't know. We don't know who that one person is yet. We will try and obviously find out, or hopefully hear about very, very soon at some point as well. So once we get that news, we'll be able to answer it. But they have to still go through this procedure. Even though they want this one person and they've agreed on this one person still has to go through its due diligences and confirms and checks and all this, that, and the other. So whoever it is it De Zerbi? Maybe someone feels like it's De Zerbi. Maybe it's De Zerbi. I don't know. Matt, good to see you, bro. Hope you're well. Guys, remember, like I said to you just now, we are currently down on YouTube at the moment. The view count's not working across the board for everyone today. I don't know what it's doing. I don't currently know what it's doing right now. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it will sort itself out soon. It's actually quite funny to watch. I'm not going to lie. But in the meantime, keep smashing the likes, sharing it out. Nearly 200 people in the building. And we're starting to build up slowly. We're going to go into our next bit of feeds. We've got a bit to go through. And then we've got the end of season review category based on the midfield. We've got the panel joining us as well very, very shortly. Fabrizio Romano's comments. Well, what's the updates? Where are we? What's going on? We're being told it's going to be done in days, which is why this is one of the first days. So effectively by Friday, we could have an answer. Who knows? Thomas Frank, Kieran McKenna, Enzo Maresca have all been mentioned internally at Chelsea. It's still an open race. Seb Hoonip, can't even say his name, pronounced it, remains highly rated but considered difficult to appoint. No talks with company on Bayern list, company to Bayern, random. But it does go to show the market right now for managers. It is so indifferent. It's ridiculous. It is so indifferent. It's ridiculous how the market's gone recently. Tuchel, Flick, or Conte. So there you go. Tuchel, Flick, or Conte. out the door. We know that they're going for a young type of manager specifically. Then, like I said, they should know specifically that type of profile as well. Do you know what I mean? Hey, big up, Matty. Good to see you. Oh, awesome, man. Glad you got back safe. Big up. YouTube are moving like the Chelsea. YouTube are down at the moment. Yeah, YouTube's down on the view count. So even though there's probably 100 people plus in here on Chelsea Fan TV, it's not showing us. It's not showing us on the view count. So it happened on Football Terrace earlier as well. It showed that he only had 40 people in there. Man usually has like 1 to 2K people in his lives. It said he had 40 people in his live. It's just, yeah, it's a bit down. It's a bit mucked up at the moment. But guys, remember what I keep saying? Smash the likes. Get the likes up. Run it up. Let's get it going. Nearly 200 people in the building. The owners want Enzo Maresca. These guys love the Man City model. We're going to talk about Enzo Maresca in a bit more detail in a second, actually. That's one thing that we will be doing, guys. I don't think I'd want to see him here. Who are we talking about? Zerbi? Who are we talking about? Now, we're going to go over to Ben Jacobs because he's got a more detailed breakdown from today. And he goes on to say this. Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley will lead Chelsea's search. We know that. Prior to Maurizio Pochettino's departure, succession planning had already begun. Clubs do this even if they don't make a change when there is an uncertainty or a potential demand in other cases, or a manager is simply on a short-term contract, i.e. in Pochettino's situation, he was on a short-term contract. We know that. He had 1 year left. Expected to be a fast appointment, Kieran McKenna, Mikel, Enzo Maresca and Thomas Frank are all discussed. Sebastian Hoiberg is expected to stay at Stuttgart, but another name spoken of. Eddie Howe was appreciated, but not approached to date. De Zerbi and Amorim not viewed as likely at this stage. Volumes of names shows Chelsea have done their diligence, allowing for them to move quickly. Tuchel won't be offered a return, nor will Mourinho, who is currently in Saudi Arabia. As for Pochettino, he understands he's happy to go straight back into work. His departure is described as amicable. Chelsea strong. I could see Poch maybe going Man United, by the way. Chelsea strong into the season and form since Boxing Day, plus the young squad he was working with means he leaves with a plenty of plaudits to the industry. Yeah, like I said, he's not burnt his bridges. He's definitely not burnt his bridges for me. That is for sure. That is for hella sure. So, you know, I am in no shock there of that, to be quite honest with you. Guys, keep smashing the likes. Over 200 people in deals. Good to see you. Really? It sounded yesterday like the Leverkusen model. Did it? Did it, Josh? Interesting. Lewis is making a fool out of himself on another stream last night. Wanted Poch out, but said wants manager in that ain't any better in De Zerbi, Stuttgart manager, and Thiago Motta. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, I guess, guys. That's the one thing I will say. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions on certain subjects. Whether you agree with them or not is that, you know, is down to you guys. But we all have an opinion. We all have an opinion. Let's move on because Fabrizio Romano has also added that there is also, even though there's a list of names that have been mentioned, there are more candidates set to be on the list. Now, whether this list has been shortened, which I think it has been brought down already. You know, I would be interested to know who else they had as an option. I really would be intrigued to know who else they had as an option for this club. 1 second, guys. I've just had something else. Interesting. All right, let's move to this. Let's move to some of this. Two things I want to highlight, actually. Two things I want to highlight. Interesting. Number one, Pochettino's successor will have to accept the authority of the board and sporting directors with a control that could even stretch into elements off and on the pitch coaching. That's no shock to me. There's nothing shot. There's no shot there. There's no shot there. They want someone to come in and display their abilities with what they're given. That's specifically what they want to do. A lot of people saying it's a yes man thing. I don't know more. So I think it's more about, listen, we want to bring the right person in. We want you to fit our model. Once you fit our model with the players we have, your job should be easier. Your job should be easier because of the players we've already purchased. So your system, your style, your way of playing should fit. And I think that's the way they're trying to approach this in what I've heard, you know. Let's go back from that. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And look who liked it. Look at this and look who liked it. An unnamed club have paid Brighton compensation for De Zerbi. And the person that's liked it is Mr. Mudryk. And we all know who Mudryk wants. We all know who Mudryk wants. I'm sorry, my manager Pep includes Hurst in today's game. Look at it, guys. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Keep tapping the screens, guys. It's run out. Come on. Likes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's your thoughts on this? An unnamed club have paid Brighton compensation for De Zerbi. Was that just to get him off the books there? Are they lining him up? Is this the one? Is this the manager that Egbali and Bowley have both agreed on? Is this the one? Because he's not been spoken about a lot. We're hearing a lot of others, but we're not really hearing if he's in the if he's in and about it. You know, so interesting. Interesting stuff there. Let's see what else we've got from players. Everyone's just saying about their thing. Richard Pochettino's successor will accept, like, yeah, we know that. So, okay, cool. So we'll continue trying to bring you breaking on that. I want to go to Simon Phillips's comments as well, which is another thing I think I agree on with what he's saying as well. He says, I wouldn't buy into all the names too much right now. Chelsea already know who they want. Don't know the name yet. I suspect a lot of keeping it under the wraps is going on. I agree. I think they know who they already want. I think there is a person, but they always go through this rigorous process. We know what we want, but we're going to try him, and we're going to listen to him, and him, including the one that we want. And then we have to pass these so-called questions, strict questions that we're being told Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart are sitting down and doing. They're the ones that are interviewing. They're the ones that are sitting on the table with the managing agents and whoever talking about this with the managers. Whether it's a vote, it probably Zoom meets, probably Zooms. It's probably like video calls. I'm not even sure if it's like actual meetups. It's probably like video calls on the phone. You know, getting interviewed by blimmin' Lawrence Stewart and Winstanley. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we have to see, because I agree. I think we already know who we want. I think we already know who we want here, guys. 100,000,001%. Guys, there's nearly 300 people in the building in total. We've got a couple over on Twitter at the moment, over 100 plus people there. Big up. Nearly over 100 people in Chelsea Fan TV with Twitter down as well. GNA TV as well, up to 50. Smash the like buttons, guys. Get the likes up if we can as well. Tuchel is a bum. Look at Bayern. No shock at all. We are interested in all players, directors, managers from Brighton, as if Brighton's are prime Barcelona. We're becoming Brighton FC, aren't we? Okay, cool. Well, we are flying through this at the moment, and then we're going to get to some of the favourites. Now, the ones that are sort of sticking out at the moment that keep getting mentioned are these guys. Chelsea have identified a shortlist. McKenna, there's an admiration for him. Enzo Maresca, who we're going to talk about, who's been discussed and is actually one of the strong candidates from what we've been told of recent news. Thomas Frank, who I am not anywhere near interested in. I don't even know how Thomas Frank makes that list, to be quite honest with you. Why is Thomas Frank there? Why the fuck is Thomas Frank there? Sebastian Hoiberg, I haven't watched enough of this guy, but it's challenging to get. I.e., there's probably issues with release clauses or trying to get the guy over. But this is De Zerbi as an unlikely choice, but cannot completely rule out. And this is the thing. People keep saying this. It's not like, when you say De Zerbi, it's not like, no, like the Tuchel, no to like the whole, like Mourinho side. It's just, no, it's unlikely. That's all we're getting. Unlikely. But I don't know how much I really want to look into this, Bryce. But there is one person that seems to be stepping out the most at the moment, and the news has been built around more than anything as one of the strong candidates currently, and it's Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca is one of the strong main candidates that I'm assuming is past the shortlist at the moment, or the long list. Enzo Maresca is the main candidate to become the new Chelsea coach. He has convinced on style of play. His release clause is 10 million. Now, I haven't watched enough of Enzo Maresca. However, I was you know, it's. I don't think. What's people saying here? Just about to say something. Someone just saying, "Bro, I don't think shortlist names are what we want." No, I think it could be a facade. I really do. I think these names that we're being thrown on could be names that you're right that are not actually names we'll be looking at. Cesc Fabregas is the guy. People were asking for Cesc Fabregas, but this is the one that's popping out at the moment. And obviously, who is like this guy? What is his situation? Well, there's one thing about Maresca that some things about Fresca that we don't know. Obviously, Maresca worked with Joe Shields. He worked with Lavia. He's worked with Palmer at City and worked under Pep as well. It might be the Uncle Joe choice. Now, again, Joe Shields, who I don't know who's even got any involvement in this. All we've been told is Stuart and Winstanley, might be pushing for Maresca for various reasons. Maybe he feels that certain individual players, important players, would work well. He also worked, he was an understudy and worked under Pep as well. So maybe they're looking at the Arteta role, the Arteta model, and how he's been since obviously leaving Pep and doing his thing at Arsenal, and maybe looking at Maresca and going, we've got our own individual here that can do the same. That's worked under Pep, that understands it, that has a system, that has a style, that understands formation, that understands tactics, all these things. All these things. That's interesting. We'll come to that in a second as well. That's interesting. We'll come to that in a second. So you know, this is a big reason. RIP Chelsea. Look at everyone in the chat. Everyone, all these 350 people here right now. You guys not happy? You guys not happy right now? I mean, they hired Joe Shields for a reason because he knows his shit. Exactly. That's the other thing I would say on Josh's half. And look, Maresca. This is another thing as well that maybe I didn't even know this as well. I didn't even know Enzo Maresca was. I didn't even know the back of this, but Enzo Maresca won the Premier League, the PL2 with Palmer and Lavia. So he has some sort of like background experience, not to the competitive level of the Premier League, but we also know that he's been doing what even like McKenna's doing. I think he got second with Leicester in the Championship, coming into the Premier League again. Now he's very strict in his systems and how he wants to play, you know, and I think what the owners are probably trying to look at the moment is trying to find an individual that has a specific structure that we can use and utilize. And I think they want to stick to that structure. And I think they've seen him and how he's probably moved over Leicester and how he's performed in a specific system and structure. And maybe you've liked that. And that's why you find himself where he is, along with the background of Joe Shields, Palmer, Lavia, winning the PL2 with him as well. Maybe there's like a lot more in common than maybe we know. Championship shit, Jim. Did Poch take our European spot with him? Pipe downfalls. Josh. Give me Gus Hiddink is what I'm hearing. And McKenna is better is what Thomas is saying here. So you guys ain't happy. You guys ain't happy with the idea of getting Maresca. Is anyone okay with Maresca in the chat? I want to know. 350 people here. Smash the like buttons, guys. If you're not hitting that likes, what you're doing, get the likes up. The YouTube's down as well, and we're trying to like get the likes up, guys. Pen it across the algorithm. Ping it across the algorithm. What else have we got here? I'm just getting news flying at me at the moment. Don't even know if we're going to get to this end of season review show, guys. Yeah, I've seen that one already. So yeah. What are your thoughts? Harry Redknapp. I really don't think sacking Poch was the right thing. Hell no. Like he got Ipswich from League 2 to Premier. Talking about McKenna. Yeah, so a lot of people ain't happy with that idea. Okay, cool. So supposedly, and again, this is DiMarzio, who's not even here, believes that leading candidate of the role for Chelsea currently at the moment is Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca's name keeps popping up. And who is this guy? What is he? What is he about? Like, you know, what do we know about him? Well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play this.
You need is to be able to move yourself in small space. We used to say to move in the traffic because, for instance, in our case, that we are four at the back and we bring this player inside, that in this moment is Ricardo Pereira. For this player, you're gonna be in the traffic. Around you, there are more players than being here. So first of all, you have to be able to move in small space. And with us, as we said, Ricardo is doing that fantastic because he's good quality. He has quality. He's good in the small space. He's improving a lot. So probably one of the quality for sure that he has to be able technically and be able to play in the traffic. One of the quality that you need is to be able to move yourself in small space. We used to say to move in the traffic.
There we go. Moving the space, moving the space, moving the traffic, tight possession ball playing. This guy wants to play in traffic, tight spaces, 1-2s, move. You know, a bit like what we've been seeing under Pochettino, really and truly. But maybe more of a like, I don't know even to explain it. Maybe more of a tighter knit rather than how he's spread out in midfield, having us more in close together up the pitch and then back down the pitch and moving, you know, and that's maybe where he's going with it. Was Blind Dweller says, what's the likelihood of Gallagher and Chalobah being sold? Well, quite highly by the sounds of it. It seems like we're still looking to sell players. I don't want Chalobah sold, I'll be honest with you, but we'll see what happens. Blind Dweller, thank you for the donation again. Big up to you guys. Nearly 400 people in the building. Keep hitting the likes as always. All these B-Tech peps. But this is the manager market, guys. Like, this is the other thing we've got to understand. There's no real, other than Tuchel, which was not going to happen, Mourinho, that was never really going to happen. The manager market this day and age is so different. It isn't your typical won Champions Leagues, won titles, type of experience, knows how to play, you know, like has his rigged system, you know, deals with pressure, has been under pressure, has been in Champions Leagues countlessly, has won league. It's not that type of market anymore. You know, you look at Bayern Munich, for example, they're being linked to Vincent Kompany and they're actually entertaining it. It all feels like it's these young managers who have, you know, haven't got the experience, but have the knowledge of systems and identity and how they want to do things. And then it's really working out whether they can then come into a team like Chelsea or Bayern Munich or whatever and challenge against the big uns. And that's because we don't know and we haven't seen it. Because we don't know and we haven't seen it, we worry. And I understand the worry and I get that. But it is the market as well. It is the market as well. Because even if you wanted to sign Xabi Alonso, for example, from Bayer Leverkusen, yeah, he's just won a title and he's proven he's done it in this season, but he still didn't come with an array of experience. So it's just a different market overall, guys. John, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Bayern couldn't even get Hunas. This is what I'm saying. So, like, you know, from the Simeones to the Jose to the, you know, all of these guys, the Contes, the you know, the Tuchels, these guys are all guys that are experienced. And yeah, they're like, yeah, we want because they're successors. They've won things they've done. But in the clear image, the new brand of coaches that are coming through now with their identities are what these new big clubs are looking for in terms of future. And they want to try and find that they want to try and find that next new diamond. That's it. They just want to find that next big thing or that next person that's going to excel into being a winner and win things and know how. And that's where I think that this is what I think we're trying to do. Now, it is very risky. It's massively risky what we're trying to do right now. Of course it is. It's huge. Is it going to work in the long term? We don't know. All I know is that we're in the third season of under these ownerships and they need to get it right. We can't keep spinning around in circles and going, get him in. Actually, you're not good enough. Another one. Yeah, not. We can't be sitting here 4 or 5 seasons in doing this same thing as what we're doing now, is what my point is. Win Stanley and Stewart, they've got a massive job. The owners, they have a massive job. They all together need to find it. You should know your identity now. You should know. You've been here for 3 seasons nearly. You have to get it right from now on. We need to bring in the right the right person, the right name. You know, this is where it has to be. And on top of all of this, there has to be some sort of element of time involved, guys. They have to look at giving some sort of time, you know. And we've got over nearly 150 people on Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. Nearly 200 people on Twitter, nearly 100 people on GNA TV, nearly 400, over 450 people in the building, guys. Good to see you all. Hope you're well. And this alludes on to my next thing. Do you know how insane this manager shortlist is to make De Zerbi the safe option? Why is he the safe option? CFC Daily. Like, why does he think that, you know, that De Zerbi's the safe option? Which he could be right, by the way. So someone's asked him, give us your shortlist when would you? And he said, Sebastian Einberg, De Zerbi, Gasperini, Sarri, or Chelsea great again by getting Simeone. Or make Chelsea great again by getting Simeone. Simeone? But he's got a point. He has got a point. He has got a point here as well. Let me quickly just ping the link into the into here as well for the boys, because I've got to do that if they're coming. Because we still got our end of season review to do, guys. It's on the midfield, which I've got coming up soon, and I'll keep you updated on any breaking news as well that we get coming up. I will keep you in the loop. You will get, you know, we'll keep you posted. But let me just quickly ping this to let me say it to Josh as well. We can get Josh in as well. Josh, check your Twitter, mate, when you get a chance. So yeah, guys, you know, it's Jim, your owners want a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 manager, a possession tiki-taka. So, but that's fine. They can have that identity. They can have that image. I have no issue with the image. Get it right now. Find the right manager, man. It's all right having this image, and they've had enough time now, 3 years. And it's going to be a young candidate again. So look at their identities, look at their systems, look at what you want, look at what we have, look if they've got any, you know, relationships with them, look at their language barriers, because with the international players that we have coming in, you're going to want someone that's fluent and can relate to all of them and not be able to have a bit of a gap, like in my opinion. There's a lot of things they've got to look at. But the most important thing in all of this, which is not evident, is that whoever we get hasn't got any CV really, hasn't got any real success under their name. But it just seems like this is the way things are going to go. Look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool with their signing. You know, and it looks like this is the way this club's going to go with the signing of the manager. You know, not taking into consideration the CV, taking into consideration the type of play for systems they play, how they've done up to this point, and what challenges they've had. You know, implementing a specific system and basing it on what we have at the moment. I think is what they're going to be looking at as well. There's a lot that they're trying to get right, but they have to get right because they can't waste any more time, in my opinion. And this is the big thing right now. And Couch, how are you doing, bro? We are on fire this week, aren't we? Non-stop shows. We're sitting here. We've got our coffees. We've got our waters. We're smashing out these streams. We're being told in a couple of days that we should have an answer. It should be tied up. I mean, the names are flying, Couch, at the moment. We've been told there's a massive list and now a short list. There's talks about Maresca being one of the strong candidates. And there's another one that I've just read now with McKenna saying that he's been offered a 4-year contract by Ipswich and he's kind of halting on it because he wants to see how he's getting on with Chelsea. And then there's talk about De Zerbi, who could be the safe option, and this could all be a facade. And then, you know, the one thing I would say, the owners know who they want, whether he's in that list or not. They both know who they want. It's just for you, Couch. The roller coaster. How are you finding it at the moment? It's just mad, isn't it? It's bizarre. Like, what's your thoughts and everything?
No, I'm just here. Big up chat. I'm hearing we're having problems with the chat or something like that. Not enough. Something
Well,
wrong.
we've got 500 people here now, so I think it's slowly sorting itself out. But
cool.
We've had the view numbers on YouTube are not working. It wasn't working earlier. So yeah, it is what it is. We move.
Yeah. So big up to everybody in the chat. Hope you guys are having a good day. Jem, you already know what it is.
We know what it is.
Yeah, it's I'm just trying to keep up, man, to be honest. Like, I haven't really been able to focus on the immense amount of change from one story to the next. I'm just trying to like do catch up on some of these managers. So last night I spent a lot of time doing a deep dive on Maresca. I did a deep dive on McKenna. And yeah, that's kind of where I left off right now. I've already done enough homework on Zerbi. I'm not really too keen on him. But I mean, if we're already going for a manager
Can
that
you give us
has
a breakdown on these managers that you've like looked at and what your thoughts are across all like the differences? That'd be quite good for us to know.
Yeah, I mean, I have again, like I still have some more research to do in terms of I haven't pinpointed who I think would be best suited based on what style of play is. But I think what they're looking for is again possession-based football. It's no different from like most of the progressive managers in world football today. Like you're trying to create overloads in areas on the pitch. You're trying to like entice defenders to pull them out of position and get space to run in behind. It's all about the methodology for me though. More so than the actual let's play possession-based football. Like how are you training the players? And what is it about your training methods that get players to buy in? That's what I'm really looking for. I want to hear from players that have worked with these guys. And yeah, like what the next thing that I'm actually looking for, and this is where most of the deep dive is coming from. I want to have managers who know how to solve problems in games. Because like I was watching the Maresca interview and he's talking about, yeah, well, if we play a 4-4-2, it's a little bit more of a problem because it's 4v4 there. And then the only way we can create the numerical advantage is if the striker drops and we got 5v4 in there. And the beauty there is that maybe it pulls a central defender out to mark the striker. And I don't know any team in football that is pulling their central defenders out to mark strikers in the midfield, creating like space in the back like that. So I just need to see how he solves problems like that and what he does to entice defenders to chase after the ball and whatnot. So he's one I'm looking at because like again, like there is enough links there. Obviously the Joe Shields thing is enticing to me. And also the players that he's worked with, the likes of Cole Palmer, Lavia, and whatnot. So there is a bit of a foundation there, somewhat. And yeah, it's just now about like what we can, what he can do to solve problems and what types of players he works best with.
Yeah, and I fully hear you on that. Before we continue with the manager talk, guys, this is just like just coming, but a little while ago, Cole Palmer has been voted by the fans as the PFA Premier League Premier League 23-24 fans Player of the Year. Congratulations! So the Fans Player of the Year award goes to Cole Palmer for this whole season as well, which is an amazing award again for a young lad doing so well as well. So big up to Cole Palmer again on that award. He deserves it. Yeah, I'm kind of like I'm going to continue letting you go on. I'm just looking into Sane at the moment. I'm just trying to like check Sane and then I'll come back to you. But I mean, declared war. Let's go to declared war. Let's try and spruce it up a bit. Declared war. Welcome in. What's happening, bro?
Wait a minute, man. Where you been, man? Hiding down under.
I'm trying my best, Coach. Trying my best here. I want to come on. I watch it and I scream at the screen. Sometimes I talk to the screen. No one can hear me. I just want to come sometimes on my phone and sneak it in. I try and catch up whenever I can, but I knew today I had to make this one. This is an interesting one. I think there's going to be mixed opinions about how our future goes and what's the result. But yeah, I came with another warning. That's what I did. I think I've done this every time a manager's been sacked.
Yeah.
He wasn't sacked, by the way. Can we stop saying that?
Yeah, he wasn't sacked.
He didn't get sacked.
Yeah. So
I know that not getting on TV and whining like your manager just got sacked. He didn't get sacked, okay? This was a mutual parting of ways.
One company.
Yeah, they're all mutual parties as well. But I mean, the point stands.
No,
the departure of a manager.
You probably ask Tuchel and Potters if theirs was mutual. I don't think he was. I don't think their key fobs worked on Monday morning. I'm pretty sure this was. I would like to have a certain amount of say. no, we just want you to manage. Okay, well then I'm gonna go my separate ways, and that's kind of what happened. And maybe originally when he took the job last summer, they thought his level of buy-in into the project was higher than maybe it was this summer when he went in to meet with them, and they just decided to go different ways. I don't think it's anything more than that. So for people who like to run with narratives about, oh, we sacked another one, we sacked that can
Well,
all
Josh,
just
isn't
kind
that
of
a narrative as well? I mean, like, surely when
what a narrative.
Pochettino came in, right, he would have known the amount of power he had and how the structure was going to be. You're
No,
saying that
not
he changed his
necessarily.
mind?
And
So
not
once
necessarily.
so let me get this straight, right? So when he came in, he knew kind of what he was involved in and where he stood and how much he can ask and whatnot, right? From preseason.
No, I don't
and
think he knew
onwards.
that. I don't think he knew that. It was his first year and coming off
All
of
right,
being
well,
fired from Paris. So I don't think he had a chance to come from Paris and demand a whole bunch of power. No. So no, I don't think he was under the impression
no,
that
he
he was
didn't
going to have a
demand
lot of say.
power.
Guys,
He was shown the structure, right? So he knew. And then you're saying he has a bad season, so he doesn't have no leverage. I mean, if he had a really good season and we got contending titles with one title, something like that, and then the guy's got leverage, maybe you can ask for more power. But you had a horrendous season and saved at the end, would have been a lot worse, right?
Yeah.
And then now he's going to ask for power. Is that what the narrative you're going with?
Before we go into that, let's just before we continue with declared words of war, let's just quickly listen to Mr. McKenna and his comments about his links to Chelsea.
No, again, these days, when you do well as a manager or as a player, there's always going to be speculation, and I know what we have achieved is not an ordinary thing. So of course there's going to be speculation then, but that's not where my focus is. To be honest, tonight's about what we've achieved last season, what we've achieved over the last couple of seasons, not just myself but everyone at the football club, and it's been a wonderful couple of years. So tonight's about celebrating that. I know everyone's looking forward to next season, and I know that the club's going to be in a really, really good place going into that season.
He's not giving much away, is he? He's not really saying much. It's not like, yeah, I'm going to stay here forever and I'll be here next season. And he's just like, so he's just, yeah, we've done very well. And this is normal when you do well in a team like I have and brought it to where it is and blah, 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 which is fair enough, but I don't know, it's just, I do feel like some of these names are a facade to the actual real person they just want, because it does happen. They throw all these names around it just to try and make it look like we can't work it out or whatever, which is what's happening. And then bang, Jem's forward counter. What's this, Ads? I just seen your name.
Because you said the word forward way too many times, so I got a little counter on it. So yeah. 115 is a rough estimate, but I thought it's fine, worth thinking because that's it's pretty trendy number right now. So yeah, we'll start from there.
What are you saying anyway? Come on, talk to me. Managers, it's a bit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a bit everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sweet. I mean, I've been on a lot of shows consistently of recent, and I still feel like I missed a pretty big one. So I have to basically get across my overall feelings on the situation. So I'll quickly just recap things. So again, people know that I wasn't a big fan of Poch during the season. Other than a couple of situations where I thought the job was untenable, I did want him gone. But at the end of the season, I thought, let's just let him ride out the season. And then see him off from there. But obviously, how we ended the season was good. We ended on a good note. The actual results of the season, one cup final, one cup semi-final loss, both to the teams that are going to win those trophies, because City are going to be United on the weekend. So those, and then finishing 6th in the league, it's a decent return on the season. But obviously, how we got there, on top of all the things that he's done wrong for me, he took too long to do. That made me feel like, I would still get rid of him. However, if he stayed, I wouldn't have kicked up as much of a fuss, because he did get somewhere in the end that he might have been able to build on something. Plus, with a young squad, it's always hard chopping and changing managers and all these things. And I know how that instability can be difficult for a young and inexperienced team. However, we've gone to sack him, and I'm okay with that. I like the decision. But obviously, I don't like the shortlist very much. I think the shortlist is very underwhelming. It reflects a lot of what we're seeing in European football right now. And again, I'm not trying to see another Poch situation or any of these kind of situations, because again, I understand that we're not in a position to go and get Jurgen Klopp.
Is that just where the market is though? When you look at Bayern looking at Vincent Kompany, for example, and things like that, do you think it's just how the market is now, that young managers are on their way up, maybe trying to become the next thing? you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's the trend. It's the trend that a lot of top teams want to go for. So, like, I agree that you can argue there's maybe like less top managers about to a degree, but I don't think that's even really the case, because if you want to look at managers who have a pedigree of winning something or winning multiple trophies, there are names out there who are either free or could potentially be free, whether it's a Thomas Tuchel, whether it's Hansi Flick. No, because we're not saying that they're all going to come to us, right? But I'm just talking about if you look at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, us, Man United, who are going to be top teams looking for clubs, looking for managers. Liverpool as well. You've got Slot. All these top teams are out there, right? And again, like I mentioned, there's again Tuchel, Flick, Nagelsmann, Allegri now, Spalletti. People forget about Spalletti's name his name is out there as well. Like, there's all these names who have won things, but instead the names that are shortlisted on all these big clubs are your companies, your Marescas, your McKennas. So then even for so when people say that they don't like the Zerbi because he's a hipster manager, but what experience has he got? Of all of these names, he's kind of the most established of these guys, because he's done multiple jobs in different countries, had some good results, had some bad times as well. But there's at least more pedigree to him than there is with a Maresca or again a McKenna, who again is one of maybe the more hip names now. That's trending because he's done good things, cool. But I know McKenna because I have United friends. I have United friends who are so just to land this one quick point on just McKenna, just to round up this point, is that again I have United friends who are again super into the club, just like I am with Chelsea, and they were hyping up McKenna back in Oli days, saying that he was the brains behind Oli Ball when they were actually popping off. And then as soon as Oli Ball started to die, you didn't hear about McKenna. But then of recent, I've been hearing about him doing well in lower leagues, and it's cool, he's doing well. But do I want to see a manager like that step up and be the focal point at one of the biggest clubs in the world, which is what Chelsea are? And I'm sorry, I just don't want that. So of course I'm looking at the shortlist, and I'm quite worried about where we go next, especially with this board who have made a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah, I just gotta say quickly though, the quick thing, the one thing that I think needs to be pointed out here is all those experienced managers that you were mentioning, the Spallettis and whatnot, they're not coming here to be some sort of a steward for the directors. They're coming here to manage, and a manager is somebody that takes control over, the transfers, the whole structure of the club. So that's the problem that we're having. They're looking for somebody that wants to come in here and just coach the staff that they provide for them, and that's the difference. We're not going to be able to get top targets anymore.
I know, and I hear that, and I agree, and that's why it's interesting for me, because I get why I don't like that we're doing it, but I get why we're doing it, because we this is what the model is. We built it with these young players, but it's just interesting to me that all the top clubs are doing this. All the top clubs are looking for these young players, so it's just a new trend.
Do you know where those other big name managers that you just named didn't sign either? Liverpool went for an Arne Slot type. They went for a manager type. Arne Slot is not going to be beating down Michael Edwards' door every summer because he needs these two Dutch guys from the Dutch league that played for him at Feyenoord or whatever. He's going to be managing. That's what they brought him in to do. So
to be honest, sorry, Josh. And to be honest, the idea of a manager coming in, for longer than 5 years, they're looking to just continually overturn. We're talking about 2-3 years of new managers coming in because their message becomes tired and old and recycled over a certain amount of time. So you bring in a new voice with new energy every time. That's what's happening. They're not going to be finding a manager who is an institution and then building a squad around the manager. Those days are long gone now.
And we need to build the institution, which is why for me the most important person at the football club really is the director of football, because they direct where you're going to be for the next 7 to 10 years in terms of the style of play, the players that they get in to fit that. And then you just need the manager to be the finishing piece, who of course is going to be super important. But like you said, Couch, most managers aren't Peps and Klopps who stay for 7 to 10 years. It's very rare these days. So we need to try and find the right guy who can maybe take us for 3 years ideally. But if it doesn't work, then we can replace them with a manager who can do a similar job with the players that we have on hand. Not that we change the system because we go from let's say Asari to a Mourinho. It's too big of a contrast.
Yeah.
Forward, there's a disconnect there. You said they're going to try what Couch was saying. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no more philosophy. There's no more nothing. There's not going to build around a manager, because you guys said top teams are doing it now. No, top teams are getting a manager, director of football, building around them, right? Getting the players they need to play a certain way. Do you think that our directors of football got these players to play a certain way and got the manager for that certain way? There's a disconnect there. There's nothing that match. These players look jumbled up, right? And the manager didn't look like it was for his style of play. And if we're going to keep bringing in coaches to make instant impacts, right, we're going to be worse than the Roman era without the success. I mean, we had good players that almost managed themselves, right? That's how good the players we had.
I don't think the team was, anywhere near healthy enough to actually judge a style of play of Pochettino per se. I wouldn't say they bought certain players to fit. They didn't buy players to fit Pochettino's style of play. Like, they brought Pochettino in the summer, late in the summer, after having talked with other managers. They're clearly looking for a young manager who wants to buy into the project for the long term, whatever long term is to you, 3 to 5 years. They're looking for that guy. When you hear names like this, when they said yesterday, they're looking for a Xabi Alonso type guy, they're looking for Xabi Alonso because he's committed to the project of Leverkusen. He could have gone anywhere this summer if he wanted to. He could have gone to any of the big clubs in the entire world. Xabi Alonso could have had his pick of jobs in this summer. That team went undefeated. And he decided to stay at Bayern Leverkusen, where they have very limited resources compared to the competition. They're looking for a guy like that who's going to say, you know what, I'm here. I'm going to build. I'll manage. You get me guys in. I'll manage them, and I'm here. They want the buy-in. They don't want every summer the manager knocking on their goddamn door about getting this player, that player. We need this or that. They're also watching games. They're also reviewing film. They're also seeing what we need, and they're evaluating that, which is why this summer we're linked with guys like Victor Osimhen. We're linked with center backs. These are things that they're looking at as well. So yes,
there's a massive issue
in 2024. In 2024, football, the model of football is going to this sort of model where you need a manager who is bought into being at the club and building with the club, and that's what they're looking for right now. I don't know if they have that guy. I don't know if the short list is what it is. I think because Omari Hutchinson was at Ipswich, that's why we're hearing about this guy so much. But it's like.
What?
They're
Come
looking
on
for
now.
that
Hold
kind of
on.
buy.
Hold on.
They want that kind of buy.
Well, I'm trying to get in here.
Come on.
Josh, till someone does that model and succeeds, right? Then we can talk about that's how players moving forward. It hasn't been proving, and the biggest problem. And I'm not going after you, Josh. Just
hasn't been proven based off what declared. They're based off what? They've been here for like a year and a half, 2 years.
You said the model. The model hasn't been proven. You said every club's moving to this model.
The model is not even a year and a half old yet. Yeah, you're not going to have anything proven in a year and a half. These are 5
You
to
said
10
all the
year
clubs
model.
are moving to this model.
Did you listen to Bowley?
I might have misunderstood, but I wanted to make another point. That's why
you're not making any points. You're just talking. Did you listen to Bowley the other day? This is a 10-year plan. This is a 10-year plan.
Guys.
They don't judge success. We don't judge success of a project off a year and a half. If you do, sorry, that's on you. But that's not how shit works.
No, I'll tell you a contradiction, right? So they said they wanted a young manager, right? Yeah, that's what you said. A young manager, an inexperienced manager.
That seems to be what they're looking for now. That seems to be what they're looking for.
To manage an inexperienced team. Right, so do you see you don't see the problem with that?
Inexperienced manager for inexperienced team. That inexperienced team got themselves into Europe next year. What are you talking about?
They think they're experienced, by the way. These owners, I'm not joking. They think what we have is experience.
I thought Poch might stay because he just nicked the criteria, right? The minimum expectation for the season, right? But apparently it wasn't. The expectation was top 4, right?
No,
and a title or something,
and
right?
Poch walked. What are you
That's
talking
what's being
about?
reported.
Stop making it sound like they fired him. They didn't fire him. He walked, and the expectation was Europe,
I agree
which
with
they
you.
got.
He walked. I agree with
yes,
you.
He walked.
Doesn't matter.
Mutual parting of ways means he walked.
Okay, we don't know what he did. We don't know what happened. I agree with Josh. I agree with Josh, but we don't know.
He wasn't sacked. Otherwise, it would be he's sacked everywhere. Sacked.
He walked. He walked. I'm getting past that point. I believe he walked too.
About the midfielders for a minute.
No, I don't want to. There's no. You're burying the lead again, man. Talk about midfield. Nobody's here to talk about midfielders, bro.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
Nobody's here to talk about midfielders.
We need to have a timeout on the managers and talk about the midfield. We've got to do a season review here. It's part of the show today.
Yeah, there's plenty. The whole year we have to talk about.
Jam, throw them all in average. Caicedo to cold. Call it a day.
Caicedo in cold. All right. Wait a sec. Let me just do it really quickly then, so I can say we've done it at least. All right. Really. So Caicedo's cold. Yeah.
No, I think Caicedo on above average, to be honest.
Labia's injured and Leslie's poor. And that's it. There we go.
What are you doing?
Is that fair?
Yeah. You know what? Just to be gone with what you're doing, just be gone with that. Be gone with that.
Deal,
Yeah.
deal.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Jim had to set up all this effort.
Looks good.
Oh, I do all this effort to make this graph for us, and we can't even just do it. Oh my
There's
god!
another
You
day
got,
for this, man.
you got
This ain't the day
Gallagher and
for it.
sold, right? Gallagher's in the sold box.
All
That's
right,
all you need.
Gallagher's
All
going to
right.
be sold now.
There you
Gallagher
go.
had an above average season on a serious. Leslie's average. Lavia we didn't see, and Enzo probably poor. There you go. That's me saying it.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll deal with it next time, man. Like this.
I mean, I would say average, but people were arguing me. Maybe
There's
even
fish
above
to
average.
fry right now, man. Like we'll get to that and get into an in-depth discussion about your boy Enzo another day. Right now, there's some serious manager talk going on.
Yeah, don't diss my Enzo, man. Enzo's upset, by the way. But anyway, we move. You're gonna have to push that midfield review back.
Right?
Listen to the people.
I honestly think you probably did just hit it on the head. I mean, that's probably where I would have put everybody too. I mean, maybe gave Enzo average because he played hurt, but yeah, that looked all right.
Listen, Enzo's there only because he had an injury. Okay, that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. All right, we move on anyway. Going back to the coaches. Let's talk. Listen, we've got a number of names there, and I agree that a lot of them are very young names. I mean, do any of you actually have an individual you actually think, yeah, maybe, or is it just meh completely for you still? Is there anyone that you look at and you go, I wouldn't mind them? Because a lot of people want Zerbi. We know that. Zerbi's one that we're hearing a lot of talk about.
Really?
Yes, but it sounds like Zerbi has a team. Zerbi has a team already, though. That's the thing. Somebody bought his contract already. It's under
that could be us.
It could be, but I feel like
100%.
It could be us that's done that. But
the report about him already having a team was actually liked by Mudryk, so it's looking likely
but
that.
Mudryk is his friend, though. That could easily just be because they're buddies. Like I don't.
It's true, but I honestly think the way that the club's moving, it's probably. I'm just guessing. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's probably going to be us.
Ads. Listen, if the players didn't know managers getting fired, they don't know when a manager's getting hired either. So Mudryk has no idea that.
I always go on the bookies though, because they've still got Zerbi as favourite. He's not even in the list. Like what the fuck?
Well,
he's been the most hot name
because
for a
it
while.
sounds like a very Chelsea thing to do, to buy out his compensation from Brighton, right?
I mean,
we bought everything from Brighton.
Exactly.
Someone's got shares in Brighton. Someone at the ownership has a stock in shares. That's why we buy everything from Brighton.
Right.
He's
He's literally the only one on there you can say is spoken for by somebody. We just don't know who it is yet. And it can't really say United because they still have a manager who they backed recently too to stay for next year.
Klopp to save Chelsea and win.
I'm sure a lot of clubs would have been in the talks months ago if they knew they needed a new manager.
Right.
Even as well.
Right.
Jurgen Klopp would never suit our model, guys. These owners wouldn't part with his crap.
He just worked in that model for the last 7 years, so I don't know. I mean, he might not want to restart that process, but he certainly benefited from it after 4 or 5 years for sure.
Yeah, I hear that. It's just waiting now, isn't it? Like from what we've been told, it's going to be a no more than a couple of days, and this is including today. So I reckon I'm going to assume by Friday we're going to know. That's just my guess. I don't think even going to next week.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably not going to hear anything about interview processes or guys who come in for that will be so under wraps. The fact that we're even hearing names makes me suspicious about some of them.
Facts. 100%.
Like, to me, the way, just by the way we've moved with all of our transfers, everything is pretty. It happens when it happens. There's not a lot of this guy's probably a guy they're gonna get. It usually is like, oh, we got this guy. It's
if it was
a lot of it is PR, to be honest. A lot of it's PR. A lot of these people have people that are linked to whether it's I think a lot of people just have people that are linked to whether it's Romano or whoever, or these Twitter accounts that are let's put our names there linked to that job because it helps us boost our profile, which is what a lot of managers do, a lot of players do. It's just how the game works.
If you had to pick between the two championship managers, McKenna or the other guy, what's his name?
I'll take McKenna since you don't know his name, Jam.
What's his
Enzo
name?
Maresca.
Maresca, yeah.
Yeah.
Maresca or McKenna. Who would you actually choose if it was down to like these two championship managers that are coming in?
Maresca.
Yeah, you got to say like Maresca. I mean,
I would probably go Maresca.
That's a
Personally.
decent
Yeah.
Leicester team, but to take them right back up is a fairly impressive feat, I guess. I mean, like that's not a great roster. It's not a bad roster, but it's not a great roster. It just he got them. I mean, and they dominated pretty much most of the championships. So
yeah, he's got more manager experience. He's worked under better coaches as well. He's worked on the Pep before. He's been with the City model as well. So like, there's some good things there. I mean, I'm not a fan of bold managers in 2024, if I'm honest. But at the same time, do you want to hire like the former architect of Ollie Ball? Yes, it's not looking great on paper.
This is such a it's such a
gamble. Yeah, Kieran McKenna used to work for Ollie at United. That's how he came up.
I didn't even know that. Fucking hell.
Yeah, no, he was big though.
I'll go Maresca then.
I think my issue just with the names in general, because obviously I mentioned before how like there's obviously experienced managers, but I get it. I get that we need a manager who is just going to be a coach. Like they're just going to be a coach. You can't bring in Spalletti or Klopp or whatever and then get them to abide by these owners' rules, right? Like so, I get that. Yeah. But again, like we don't want to revisit the Potter situation, because let's say if Potter was still at Brighton and he had sort of steadied the ship and they were still doing relatively good things, right? They might have got Europe that season anyways when Zerbi came in. We would have probably still been in talks to get Potter. We might have even got Potter now. And it's like, we know Potter didn't work because he just didn't have the personality, the balls really to manage at Chelsea and deal with the personalities, but deal with the pressure. And it's like, do we know if a Kieran McKenna, if Enzo Maresca can deal with the pressure? We don't know. And it's like, okay, that doesn't mean then let's go get Company, because Company knows what it's like to be in the pressure cooker of a big team for many years. Because as a manager, what has he really proven? And that's why it's so tricky, this situation, because we need to thread the line of having somebody who can work with young players, because Poch showed that before in Southampton and Tottenham. But then tactically, was Poch up to it? He didn't show it for 35 or for 30 games of the season in the league. And then we need somebody who can obviously understand what it's like to manage at this level, to understand the pressure, can work with these players. 3 games, a game every 3 days, because we're going to be in Europe next season. So it's just a lot that we need, and we have to get the right person, because we can't get it wrong at this point. We can't. I mean, these owners, for what they've done already, they can't afford to get this one wrong. It will be unacceptable.
Well, Zerbi is a guy that they tried to get before Potter, right? Didn't they talk about him before they brought Potter in? I feel like he was one of the names early.
Yeah, he was
in the
linked.
conversation.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be easy to get them Potter?
Well, no, I'm just saying he's clearly a guy that they've been on the radar for. I don't think Shakhtar was in a position to let him go at the time. So it's like, if he is a guy that they've admired for some time, it does make sense that he's linked. But again, if somebody bought his contract already, I'd imagine. I mean,
who is Mikel, by the way? Who's Mikel, whatever his name is? Who's that? Is he good?
No idea.
Well, look what he's doing at Girona right now, right?
Yeah, he's had a very good season.
He had a good season. I know that, but I haven't watched him. Like, is he good? Like,
they score a lot of goals. I know that.
And they played some good football. I think he's also as part of the City model as well. So like, not that he learns from Pep or anything, but he's in that school of thought. So that like, there's that to it as well. But again, it's a very limited sample size.
Grenada today, man. They're playing Granada today in La Liga.
No, I've watched a few of their games. I watched them against Madrid, where they got battered, to be fair, to Bernabeu. I watched a few of the games as well. They played some good football. They got some decent players as well. So it's just guys, remember when Alonso was first linked to Liverpool? And obviously, everybody was hyping it up, but like, I even felt like he can go there, and he's a good name. He's had a great season, but even him, he's only been managing for 18 months. Like 18 months as a manager, then you're going to go manage Liverpool. Like, it's a big jump. Like, I sort of been like, that's a good signing for them, but that's just the thing. A lot of these guys are super inexperienced. They're not even experienced having downtimes as a manager, let alone like what it's like to then sustain success over 2, 3, 4 years, or have different experiences at different clubs. So it's like, to bring somebody into the pressure cooker of Chelsea, given how much of a mess we can be, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say before, because you said they can't afford to get this wrong. But everyone on that list is such a gamble. All these names, if this is the real name, are such a gamble. We could have another. There's a good chance. I'm not going to say good chance. There's a decent chance that we can have a repeat of the last 2 seasons, just because the person you get in hasn't managed at this level.
I mean,
right? And they can't expect it.
Is Zerbi a real gamble? I don't know. These are
100%. What has Zerbi done? Can someone tell me? I know he's exciting football, but
he's managing the Champions League. He did really well with Brighton, who was an average. Actually, got worse when he got there. The team was worse when he got there, and he did manage to keep them fairly.
So did he win any titles? Has he competed for titles? Has he been at the top? Has he been top?
Who are you talking? Well, who are you talking about bringing in that's won titles? Are you going to tell me go get Jose, who's an awful manager now? Like, what are you talking about?
I'd say Jose's better than Zerbi.
Come on, Jose. Listen, Roma got better when he left. But come on, man, stop the nonsense. I think
Zerbi was hurt by injuries as well. He was hurt by injuries. He was hurt by
lost his two best midfielders.
He was hurt by losing his best players and not them not being replaced as well.
You can't act like this guy's some sort of bum manager. He's not some sort of bum manager, dude. He's nonsense.
Went against.
What is
Zerbi fan, by the way? Like.
I think he's a really good, he seems like he'd be a really good, enthusiastic manager to put in charge of a project with a team with a lot of talent, actually.
So that's all that matters. Let's just become him. Let's just get enthusiastic about stuff, right?
You know what? I think you guys
we don't need titles. Let's just get excited. Like, bro, I'm just
telling
you. Give me a name with titles.
Why isn't Tuchel an option?
Give me a name with
titles,
then.
Club,
that's your only,
go for it. Like, look.
Give me a name with titles. Give me a name with titles declared. You're just talking about titles. That's your only criteria. Give me a name.
Poch has titles. Poch got titles. Yeah.
Come on, give me a name with titles.
Hold on. I think this goes beyond just like X's and O's and titles, man.
The title.
Like I think it goes beyond that though. Hold on a second.
Critical thinking is to have a different list, right?
Hold on a second.
But accepting low-rate managers and then calling it, they're great.
Declared.
I said Unai Emery last season, right? And everyone laughed at me, right?
One at a time, guys. One at a time. No one can hear you when you all shout at the same time.
Why don't we just get Big Sam as well? Like, this is the list we're going with now.
Yeah, declared.
Why isn't the top of the list?
You're displaying a lack of critical thinking for everyone that's listening right now, which is great to see. This is
I would prefer the top of the list had that criteria.
That's a great jump from Zerbi to Big Sam. Good jump there, Declare. Everybody.
All right, so who's your number one choice
now?
Out of every manager?
Probably the guy on the screen seems the most likely on the list. I mean, what do you want me to
Why is the guy that lacks that criteria, right?
Oh, he doesn't have a title. Oh, Declare. I'm sorry, he doesn't have a title.
I'll put Tuchel at the top. I put Klopp at the top. Right? This is impossible.
You can't put Klopp at the top.
The guy who lost the only Bundesliga title in the last decade.
I would love to have Klopp, right? But I know it's impossible. But
Klopp is a realistic guy. Let's keep the critical thinking going. Let's keep this critical thinking going.
For you guys to get this out of your system so we can have a real conversation.
Maybe we could buy Pep.
Just waiting.
Good idea. Nagelsmann turned us down, man. He didn't like the project.
What about this?
Waiting for you guys to finish your nonsense so we can have a real conversation. Just waiting. You guys done?
That is about why is this guy such like?
Are you guys done?
Everyone loves him.
Are we done?
I'm asking everyone on the panel, not just Josh.
I'm not necessarily Zerbi either. I don't think that guy has a defensive structure, to be honest with you. I don't like the way he defends. Like he seems to be one-track mind football, high line,
I agree.
You know that kind of thing. So I'm not
like that. That's what they want. And this is the one thing that's come out quite like recent is that apparently whoever they're looking to bring in as the next coaches, they want someone that always has like a proven system that sticks to it as well, that doesn't always move around and switch and whatever. They want players to be able to be drilled in a specific system throughout the system and for it to work.
I agree 100%. And this is my issue because this is what we talked about before, right? I want what you just said, Jim, and I think majority of us want that, right? But it doesn't look like the players are being brought in for that, and it doesn't look like it's being brought in. Any manager being brought in for time for that, right? So it doesn't look like the structure is going to give the manager time to build that and to build around that philosophy. So every time we change managers, they're very similar, right? That's what I want, right? But it doesn't look like that. It looks like what Couch said. They just want a manager to come in and coach. Zerbi might be able to get that. Maybe it might take him more than one season, right? Are we going to give him that time? Are the managers? Are we going to all turn?
Well, at this point in time, I don't think that we can be chopping and changing again. Like there has to be a one consistent message,
100%,
one consistent way of playing. Like so, this is their last card. This is absolutely their last card. If their plan is to see the players that we have in the squad right now reach their highest heights, because you can't continually change the message over and over again. Like I don't care that like Lampard was just a caretaker. I don't care that Bruno. Like I don't even consider Bruno really, but like you've gone from Tuchel to Potter to Lampard to Poch to somebody else, all in a span of 2 years. It's crazy. These players, these young players, need a consistent voice, a consistent methodology, a consistent philosophy. And if you continue to chop that, you just lose the players. Like, let's not forget that, like, Pochettino had the dressing room. He had the dressing room. You look at the response from the players in the dressing room right now. They're telling you that, like, they are shocked that he's gone right now.
Sounds like he could have stayed. It just sounds like he could have stayed had he wanted.
Well, maybe. I mean, if it's down to the players, but I don't think it's necessarily down to the players. It may just
not. Josh made that very clear as well. Also,
that's a bigger problem, yeah.
1 second to clear before you
players
go. 2 seconds, bro. 800 people in the building, guys. 800 people in the building. Make sure that you're smashing the likes, guys. We should be getting these channels up to over 200 likes on each, please. Can we make sure we do that? Smash the likes, yeah, if you want Chelsea to win the league. I don't know what to say. That was like the worst thing to go to. Smash the likes.
The manager choice.
I was going to say smash the likes if you think Chelsea are going to find the right manager. No one would smash it. That was why I couldn't say it. But, you know, that was the other thing. But anyway, the contenders to replace Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea: Sebastian Hunes, Mikel, Enzo Maresca, Kieran McKenna, and Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank sticks out like a sore thumb there. Like, what?
8 minutes ago. And
Thomas Frank?
Yeah, that's from the Telegraph.
Hunes is a great manager, but he turned down Bayern. If you're turning down Bayern Munich, like, that's the kind of guy they want. They want a guy like that who's gonna be like, no, I'm good here. We're building something. Like, that's the sort of thing they're looking for. So it doesn't sound like they're gonna get him because of that, but that's the mentality in the manager that they want.
I mean, the whole idea of Thomas Frank is counterattacking football.
It makes no sense to me. I agree as well. Yeah.
And like, he's only like, I know that when he's in Denmark, they played a little bit more progressive and whatnot, but that was in Denmark. When you came to the Premier League, you played counterattacking football, 30% possession. Like, you can't
played relegation survival football. Yeah, that's all he showed, and everyone got excited.
I can't understand that name. And to be honest with you, this is a name that has been linked from time. Like, I heard this back in December. They're talking about this Thomas Frank guy. Like, it's crazy to me. And that also speaks to the lack of an idea. Like, what are we talking about here? How many different managers do we have here? You know? And I know people are talking about even Amarin. Like, Amarin's release clause is like 30 million. We can't afford to get that guy out of his contract right now. You know what I mean? Let alone, you know, bring him whether or not he wants to come to Chelsea.
At Couch, how much do you think the Zerbi's compensation was?
It was probably not much.
I don't think that it's very high.
Some sort of buyout.
I don't know. We paid a lot for Potter. Why not? I'm telling you, it would be.
That was mid-season though, compared to where he is with Brighton right now at the end of the season.
Yeah. When it comes to
I don't know about this Mikel guy either. I've been watching his stuff, but like, his communication, the guy doesn't even speak English. You know what I mean? Like, why is he even considered? The guy doesn't even speak English. Like, what are we doing here? You know, I don't get it. I feel like sometimes they just put these names in there just to show the style of football that they're after. But this guy, he's not going to. I don't know. Anyway, I could be wrong. Who knows? He doesn't speak English.
You know, no one really knows. It's everyone's best guess, and they just need some names. So maybe three of those names were his best guess, and then he just I needed this list to be a little bit longer for another name. And then since last season.
I feel with these names, a lot of them, they done it last time. They just throw all these names everywhere. And I feel like it's just a big spray from the journalists. Because even this, I think they're just spraying names, to be quite honest.
Well, didn't they say in December that we paid for a flight to have Almiron come interview? And he's not even a name on this list. Like,
yeah, this sort of thing, like Zerbi, for example.
Where's the consistency on that, right? Like, we paid for a guy's flight for an interview, but he's not even on the
exactly.
list.
And they haven't ruled out Almiron specifically. All I've heard is his release clause is a bit of an issue. That's what I've heard. But with the Zerbi, it's like every time he mentions the Zerbi, it's not fully getting ruled out. It's just that Chelsea are not entertaining or not looking that, like, it's not actually getting cleared out. And then when you look at like the bookies, for example, saying the Zerbi's still the favourite, but then you're reading all what the journals are saying, and it's completely the opposite. It's just a big. It's just a big.
And I don't. The release clause thing is the release clause thing is less weird for me because I think aren't we like trying to buy a piece of Sporting?
I don't know.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm sure they could work something out with Sporting where it's like, listen, we're literally trying to buy part of the club. So I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, it's just funny how there was such a rumor going around in December that we paid for a guy's flight for an interview. Yet that guy isn't even on a short list of managers now that the job
What do
is
you mean? Like, maybe they decided he's not the right guy for the job after
Yeah,
meeting him.
after his interview, yeah.
Like it was like, yo, this guy sucks.
Yeah. So we were interviewing when we had a manager, but now vacant job. He's no more man, no more interviews for him.
They figured out that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. They're like, yeah, get this guy out of here. Yeah.
We need more.
Unless he came
clarity.
here and told us no.
That's
If we have,
Thanks.
if we have to, guys, we will be running shows in the evening as well. So you might even get 2 shows a day at this rate if we get any news for the next couple of days of what's going on in and around Chelsea.
Thank you, Fraser.
So yeah, we'll keep you posted. At the moment, it's got a little bit quiet. We're still in the dark. We know that we've been told that the long list is now a short list. That's all we know, but we don't know who the short list is, and we don't know who Bowley and Egbali are supposedly wanting, which they've agreed on who that person is. So Fab tweet, interesting. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You can definitely say for sure if it's not one of these guys, that is a bad look for the English media there in football in England.
They've got a bad look anyway here. Anyway,
if it's none of these people, that is a bad look.
What are we looking at here? We're looking at Maresca. Anyway. Are we looking at the Maresca comments that he just put out 6 minutes ago, which don't really... The new release clause into Enzo Maresca's contract after the CFC got promoted in Premier League is around 7 to 8 million. And then there's another one here saying that Eddie Howe's approved Tosin and Lloyd, which tells me Eddie Howe's... I don't even know why Eddie Howe was even in the conversation in the first place, but yeah, he ain't going to be the case. So not much really from Fabrizio other than that. I don't know why. He's maybe just needs to clarify that, but yeah, I don't know, guys. It's just a waiting game.
I got to do some more homework on this guy, but yeah, I mean, of the lot, like, I don't know. I can't even really say that I have a favorite right now.
I have to watch them all. I need to know who the shortlist is. Once I know who the 3 are, which it will do, they will do this. They do it all the time. It'll go from 10 to like 3. And then it'll be 3 to 2, and then it'll be, oh, this is the guy, like it was last time. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, if we all agree that Poch walked out and might have caught the board by surprise, maybe there is no list. Maybe everyone rushed to make a list themselves.
Maybe there is no list. Maybe
maybe they're starting to work from now. If walking out is such a surprise to them, there is no list. Or there probably
there should still be some sort of list because they would have anticipated him potentially going. And there was rumors even before, and it should have been even a common sense thing that potentially he's going to go because he were taught. No, but I'm making the point that like we spent most of the season underwhelming in 10th, 11th, even 12th, right? So at that point, if any sensible board, which I'm sure these guys show that they can be sensible at times, they would have been looking for a new manager. So they would have had some people ready to potentially come in. So
you can kind of backfill. You can kind of backfill the De Zerbi thing. Like, what clubs couldn't announce him right now? I mean, Brighton already announced he's gone. They did a farewell. Apparently that his buyout has been paid by another club. Like, what clubs couldn't announce that he's their new manager now? I mean, there's not.
Could be a contract thing, Josh.
That's what I'm saying. But Brighton has even officially announced his departure. So there's not like maybe there's a date that he has to wait to, but usually they would. Yeah. That's the day that they announce it officially is that date, and they already did that. So it's like there can't be that many clubs. I mean, I guess United is the only club that might be looking for a manager that's still playing that wouldn't be able to say announce it right now. That would totally destroy the team right before final. But
is there also a financial thing with announcing or getting the deal done in June or at start of June or end of June or something? For financial fair play?
Possible.
Yeah, I mean,
so probably they got a verbal agreement and maybe some money to a little deposit for him, right?
It's just
but the official deal to go through after the financial fair play date.
It's just another way that I look at it, where it's like there's not any club really. If he's already been signed, that if a club already bought his contract, there's no clubs that couldn't announce that right now. I mean, all the big all these clubs could announce if he was their manager right now, and nobody has. So. It's like it leaves me wondering, like, okay, well, yeah, like you're saying, either there's a agreed upon date, maybe for financial reasons, or the club that he's going to is still playing and they don't want to announce a new manager while they're still actively playing.
I actually believe that might happen at Chelsea. That we won't hear an announcement till the financial fair play cut off. Maybe there's an agreement already, or will be soon. But they might hold it off till that date just because we're a bit touch and go with the financial fair play at the moment as well. So that
Yeah,
could
but I
that
don't
could
know
be
how
a
that
delay
would
in our announcement as well.
Yeah, but I don't know how that would really affect announcing it. I mean, they can do whatever they want with the paperwork and get it in whenever they need to get it in by, but they could announce that stuff, I would imagine legally
It's a bit
pretty
hard to
much
say.
whenever they
We
want.
agreed on June 30th, after June 30th when we announced it. At
Yeah, the
start of June.
Enzo links are starting to heat up a bit. It seems like he could be the preferable candidate.
Where is he from? I don't even know
Leicester.
some of these.
Leicester.
The Maresca. His name is
Yeah,
Enzo.
the Zerbi thing. It's like it's gone quiet as well. I don't know. I'm just reading what I've just been sent, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's apparently like a big NDA on Zerbi, so I don't imagine we'll hear anything on him until he announces, because it's like legally someone's got it legally binding.
Yeah. On some other news for you, apparently by Rudy Galetti, Chelsea always considered Osimhen as the main target to strengthen the attack. The striker desires to play in the EPL, and an agreement on personal terms is not far away, but the distance with Napoli remains.
This is the most straightforward signing of the summer. Like, for anyone who's been bantering around different names, like this guy is the number one guy that this is the big guy that they're going to bring in this summer. Absolutely. I mean,
apparently, Cesc Fabregas has been spoken to by the owners as well. That's more to do with a coaching staff option, apparently, because they want him to come in and because they want him to fit in, potentially get involved in the model, but not from the main man, but as a second man or something like that, maybe for the future.
Wouldn't be the
Hey,
worst
can
idea.
we look at a list from before we got when we got Poch? Compare that list to this list.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, the
that
Poch
wasn't much of a list. They were recruiting Nagelsmann for the longest time. That's the guy they wanted, and he decided to take the Germany job. So that they had to change course then. But I don't think they were I don't think they were interviewing much of anybody other than Nagelsmann at the time. I think he was the guy they wanted.
Oh no, they had Enrique. They had Enrique in there
just to show you what I was talking about.
They did interview him, Couch, but right after his interview, they announced this isn't going to happen. It wasn't like a long drawn out thing with him. It was like he came, he interviewed, like a day later. Yeah, that's not going to be. He's not getting the job. Yeah. I think Nagelsmann to me was the long-term guy that they were hunting after, and when he took the Germany job, then they changed focus to Poch. I don't think they ever really Flick. I don't think had any interest, so I don't think there was really any conversation there.
It was Nagelsmann, Enrique, and Poch.
I remember Ange on that list too.
Yeah.
That everyone freaked out about.
And then there was someone else.
Poch was never, and that's fair to argue. Poch was never like their main go-to guy, but they thought he had enough experience and enough buy-in to maybe make it work, and it just didn't meet the standard in the summer. So I don't know. It makes sense.
But his name was actually thrown in on that list. I mean, at some point.
Yeah, everyone likes this Sebastian Hume guy, whatever his name is, from Germany. He seems to be quite a big want for some Chelsea fans anyway.
Really?
I'm not. Yeah,
that's because Bayern. It's because he said no to Bayern. Anytime someone says no to Bayern and you're German, it's like, oh, we love that guy. It's like no one ever. I mean, that's a league that like Dortmund will sell their best players on a cheap to Bayern. So when things happen like that, where a top manager tells them no, people love that stuff. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for the whole Fabregas thing, though, being a part of the coaching stuff. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that. He's done quite well in Serie B, hasn't he? As well, with some sort of experience. So maybe, that can be an option. But is he going to want to go from being a manager to being second, third fiddle in Chelsea for now?
Depends on how much he wants to learn, right? Is he in a learning mode, or is he in I'm going to sneak in and be the second guy in the job kind of guy? I think it depends pretty much on what he's looking to do, I guess,
I know he's very well liked, but the issue we keep hearing is the release clause with Amorim, guys. This is why we're not hearing. Again, the ones that we're not hearing much doesn't actually mean we're not. You know what? The list could be the complete opposite. It could be Zerbi, Amorim, and fucking, I don't know, like Motta. We're sitting there looking at Kieran McKenna, and they're just throwing us all these weird names. We're like, what the hell?
It's like somebody heard the term like Chelsea want a young manager, and then Fabrizio went and found the top 5 managers under 33 years old or something. It's like these are the guys.
Like why is there Hansi Flick's name in there too?
was. but he's
That's why I said compare the
59 years
list.
old,
Like,
he don't suit
Does
the
Flick,
model.
does Flick strike you as the kind of guy who would want to come like buy into a project and manage a team? This doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. He would want too much say in like what they're trying to do.
So we just want someone that doesn't want
yeah, they
too much
want
say.
someone to buy. Yeah, they want someone to buy into the team and what they're trying to build. Absolutely, yeah.
They want
You
to
know,
coach,
You might as well have a revolving door at the front. And
well, that's essentially what it's going to be. Like the most important position in this club right now is going to be the directors, the sporting directors. They're the ones that are setting up the philosophy. They're the ones that are going to be basically setting up the team. And then they want to bring in a coach that can basically train the team to play the way they want.
The couch, that's every club everywhere, right? I realize it's Chelsea
Not
fans.
every club everywhere. Not every club.
It is all. Listen, no man. Pep has no say in what City do.
Not
in
every
transfers.
club.
Okay. No. At all the big clubs, it's run like this. These guys, Ancelotti, these guys, they have no say in transfers. Who's coming in? Who's coming out? Xavi, no say at Barcelona. Like it's.
Yeah, but here's the difference, though.
No say. Yeah, they have no say.
They say what kind of characteristics they need.
Gosh,
and
here's the difference.
The director's choices.
You're listening to.
Pep
You're
said,
listening to directors.
I need a characteristic of Haaland who just can just tap
so
goals in.
Josh, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Yeah. These directors have won things. They've set up teams that have won.
Yeah,
You're looking at Win Stanley. You're looking
How
at
many years
Win
did it take
Stanley.
City to win the Champions League?
Hold on. You're looking at Win Stanley, and you're looking at Lawrence Stewart, who came from Brighton and Monaco, and you're telling me that these guys know how to build a winner. And you have managers that have come in that have won things, and they're saying that you have to be subordinate to me because I'm going to build this team.
I think you have to let them try to build and win things. They've been here almost
not even. That's a gamble in itself.
This ain't a trying thing, bro. This ain't a trying thing.
Well, it is. I'm sorry. Listen. I know we went through 20 years of having just Roman being in charge of every transfer. Okay, but that was how no clubs were run like that. We have now changed our model to how all the top European clubs are running their clubs now. And I'm sorry, like that day and age of the game is over, where the manager is saying, like, I want this guy, get me that guy, where Mourinho's
I'm
calling.
Not questioning that. I'm not questioning that. I'm questioning the people that they brought in.
Okay, well, these are the guys they brought in. You got to let them be the guys. That
I mean, I have to. I have no choice, but it's not something I have to agree with, though. Because
none of these guys have won anything. I'm sorry. If 2 years is enough for you to be like, all right, they're not the guys.
More than 2 years. What did they win at Brighton? What did they win at Monaco?
Okay, well,
more than 2 years.
Okay, well, I'm talking with them at Chelsea. Okay, because you could look at the guys at City and look at them at Liverpool. What did they win before they got to Liverpool? What did the guys at City win before they got to City? And I'm talking about the directors, the scouts, these guys. I'm not talking about Peps and Klopps. I'm talking about the Michael Edwardses of these guys who were.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, you have the guys that won at City. Those guys were at Barcelona before that.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the coaching staff. I'm talking about the directors and.
Those guys were at Barcelona. Those guys were at Barcelona.
Worked with Pep before.
Okay, so he brought over his own sporting directors. Those are still the guys at City now that run City Group.
Yeah.
They're guys from Barcelona.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
I can check that out. I can look that up. We can check it out.
Bro, you don't have to look it up. I'm telling you right now, Tixi and the other guy were from Barcelona. They won title after title with Pep. And then they went to City, and then they brought Pep over there. Trust me, 100%. But beyond that, like, I'm just saying, you have to establish yourself. Like, I don't understand how these guys got into this position where they're telling what manager they want. And, like, they haven't won anything. They haven't done anything in the game. And that's where I think the error is. It's not about like this model of like trying to get the directors and then have the directors basically build the team and then have the coaches come in after that. It's about what guys that you've assigned to put in a position to select these guys. That's the problem I have. Like, I'm not, and I've been saying this from time. I'm not even sure, how did these guys get this position? How did they get in a position where they're making the choice for big Chelsea FC? It makes no sense.
Because they got them for what they're good. What makes sense is that they got them for what they're good at, finding young players that have increased their value. That's the model. I mean, that's all we've done. Everything we've done at this club hasn't been for getting experienced guys that have won, made title-winning teams, so we can build one too. No, they've all been for making young players. And that's all we've done. get the scouts that have found good gems, and let's just keep building a team like that. And I think that's what the model they're going for. Just if they think they can pack the team with enough young players that become good, that success will come. And it's not a model that's around Europe.
Being told not to ignore Amarin as well, like there's not a lot of talk
Who's
about him
telling
at
you
the
this?
moment.
Who's telling you
Yeah.
this?
You tell them off, Jim. Don't get them to tell you this.
No, but what they say is, and I understand what they're saying. And again, I think it is a bit of a mirror of some of these names. I think there's ones that are in there that are not really being spoken about as much, but I think there's a lot of because a lot of the journals are jumping on these young guy names and just throwing them about. I just think they're. I'm just going on what I think. I'm just assuming right now. I just think there might be. It wouldn't shock me if it was a Zerbi or an Amarim or someone like that. It could be
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I think by tonight we'll have a shortlist. I think by tonight we'll have a shortlist. I think we'll have a breakdown of who and why not maybe on the others. But once we know that, then I think we'll be able to put 2 and 2 together a lot more quicker. I think personally, once you know who's left.
I think that list is going to change quite a bit.
I don't believe that list. I think some of it's right, and I think the others are just facade names. I think the ones that are kind of sitting on the wings, like the Amarins and the Zerbis, are ones that I think might be involved as well. But
I don't think the young manager thing is true. Whoever threw that out there, just to make sense to say young manager.
Because they're still young.
Because it just sounds like, we just want an inexperienced manager. No, what?
No, they just want somebody that it can be subordinate to these directors that haven't won anything. And
they don't know. Yeah,
big name manager who's won everything. Who's subordinate to who? I mean, what have you done in the game that can justify you telling me that I have to play Conor Gallagher in the midfield or whatever? You haven't won anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think Vival was brought in for this reason?
But that's the exact
that he was meant to be
opposite,
the top of the pyramid?
That's
I know.
the exact opposite though. Poch was the one wanting to keep Gallagher, right?
I know. I was just throwing a name out there.
To sell him.
I was just throwing a name out there, Josh. It doesn't matter who it was.
Name. Well, it kind of does. We're talking about the sporting directors.
All right,
and you keep saying they want somebody to be subordinate to him. Like, be subordinate how? No, they want a manager who's going to manage and buy into the team. That's it. Here's players. They didn't say we're not going to talk to the manager and see how he evaluates what's going on. They talk to Poch all throughout the season. But he was with Winstanley all the time. But they want a guy who is going to want less of like a particular player. I want this guy. Get me that guy. They want a guy who's just manage. We'll work with you on
just shut up and manage. Just shut up and manage.
Yes, that's what they all do. I'm sorry, but that's what they do.
So that's why that shortlist is there. Then so no actually good manager actually wants to come. A manager that has never hit these heights, that will jump and pounce at the opportunity to go at a club like this, is the guy that's going to come in and shut up and coach and listen to what they say. So they just want a guy that is essentially a gamble, but will
put me on the list. Josh. Oh, fucking lead us to glory. Enzo, you're playing every game, mate.
You can do worse, man, that's for sure.
Can I ask this? What happens if we get one of these managers, right? Say Zerbi, for example, and I think he's had a history of talking out, right? And he does really well. 2 years does really well. He gains the support, and then he starts to feel like he should have more say on players and things that go on, right? What do we tell him then? Shut up and do your job, and then he'll probably leave. So what happens when a manager does well and actually asks for that power that we've been talking about?
Well, I don't know.
Ask for players.
Did he win a title in that time? That's your big criteria.
Yeah. Let's say he won a title. Yeah.
Well,
he won title.
Maybe they give him a little bit. Maybe they give him a little more say then if he wins a title. Yeah.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it. If they win a title,
you gotta help him.
If you win a title,
so Josh,
I don't know why he would start. I don't know why he would start piping up then after winning a title at that point. I don't know why then he would start running his mouth about.
Even if he wins a title, right? I still think, and this is the thing, they just want to find the right person to do that. But once they do find that, I can see these owners backing him, what he wants and keeping with him. I have no problem. I don't think that will not be the case. I think they will continue to make him strong and maybe spend money and maybe work with that manager a bit more. But I think that's what they want. I think they want their targets hit first, and then they want to see progression. And that's a part of it. And I think we all want that as fans.
So essentially, we want the same model we have for the players for the manager. So we just buy a whole bunch of young players with potential, and we get a manager with potential, and we see which one succeeds and does well, and then after that, we'll back them.
Is that what he said? I don't think that's.
No, that's what I'm going with. That's essentially.
Anyway, I think it's time. I think it's time. We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. There's not much coming through at the moment. Like I said, you might see me again very soon. If we get more news later on today, I might drop another show later tonight, guys. Keep you guys updated as well. Still 800 people in the building right now across Twitter.
All the more reason why we should continue. All the
more reason we could sit here, but there's things that have got to be uploaded on certain channels and stuff that they need to do. So I can't just sit here and TikTok time away. Did someone just fart? What was that?
I thought it was trumpet.
You know, it's good. It's good. Listen, make sure you smash the like, subscribe, put your notification bells on, because as soon as I upload on StreamYard that we're going live and it's for what reason, you'll know. You'll know the time, you know what we're talking about, you know what's going on. Hit the bell notification, guys, on YouTube. The guys over Twitter, you jump in straight away as soon as you see it on the top of the Twitter feed anyway. So big up to you for all being there. 347 people on Twitter, 313 people on Chelsea Fan TV, 150 on GNA TV. That's not, not too bad for us building up to it again, which we are, and slowly, and the consistency's coming, guys. But I will come back to you, like I said, any news of anything, we'll come back and we'll get another show set up. At the moment, 1 hour, 40 minutes in. Smash the likes buttons. Who are Chelsea going to sign, guys? Who is it going to be? Who's going to be on that shortlist? Let's see. Peace out. Peace.